Roar Nation. Welcome to live, raw, uncut NFL talk. Tuesday edition. Stretch those arms, and it is fact or crap Tuesday here. Oh man, it's gonna be a great show, guys. Light it up. Stretch. Wipe the sweat out of your eyes. Wipe the sleep out of your eyes as well. It is time, it is time, it is time. Buckle up, get those headphones in. Get those fingers ready to tweet. But first.
And now, Mike's thoughts.
As NFL season week 1 is days away now. Week is speaking into existence. Just days away now. The NFL is trying to set up, quote, the world's largest tailgate party ever at Arrowhead Stadium. Opening day, September 7th, when the Kansas City Chiefs do play the Detroit Lions. During this show, it's going to be about an hour-and-a-half tailgate party set up by the NFL. It's going to be Gardner appearances. I don't know who Gardner is. Hosted by YouTube stars, the Merrill Twins. That produce. It's going to have a DJ-produced duo, Two Friends. Like, the NFL is trying to hype up this game. There is no need to try to hype it up. This is a huge, huge game. Detroit Lions with the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a great opening day game. But then decide to say that this is going to be the world's largest tailgate party. A tailgate party, to me, guys, is not planned. To me, a tailgate party is kind of just like, hey, we're here to party, and everybody else just kind of gathered around, sharing some food, giving some buffalo wings, etc. So why is the NFL trying to, shove this down our throat? Why is the NFL trying to, dub this the world's largest tailgate party? Isn't every pre-game tailgate party at the Super Bowl, wouldn't that be the world's largest tailgate party? Because they got bands, they got this, and this. To me, what is considered a tailgate party at the end of the day now? A tailgate party to me is when you take your truck and you drop your tailgate and you put out your lawn chairs, you gather around with some friends, drink a couple brewskis, grill up some food maybe. Some other fans start walking by like, yeah, go Chiefs. I don't want this concert planned. I don't want this whatever else planned. Tailgate at Arrowhead Stadium is by far one of the best experiences that you will ever experience. You want to meet 20,000 friends? Go to Arrowhead Stadium, wear the opposing team's jerseys, and people bring you in. We're like, hey, man, come over here and have some of this barbecue. Come over here and have a little bit of this Miller Lite. Come over here and have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. NFL, you guys need to stop with this crap, man. Stop with it. Stop trying to make this the world's largest tailgate party. Shut up at the end of the day. Who is this people? DJ, producer, duo, Two Friends? What? Am I supposed to know who the hell that is? And I am on YouTube all the time. Commenting, talking shit, doing whatever. I never heard of these people. The Merrill Twins? Who the hell are the Merrill Twins? Do you think people at Arrowhead Stadium are going to know who those people are? Do you think the fans at Arrowhead Stadium at GHEA Stadium are going to give a two rat's ass of who those people are in NFL? You want to get hype? Bring in my man Tech 9. He'll get the party hype. Kansas City legend. Let's go. You want to get the people hype? Bring in that Oliver Caton guy. That little north of Richmond dude. That'll get the people hyped. Let's go. Come on. Seriously, NFL. Stop with it. Stop with it. Cue that intro.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the court. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're out the dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speak scope.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Boykasha here with the Man Hour. Sure to head over to headoutmanradio.com. Check out the merchandise page, or check out the blog section as well. And also share this live stream as well. Sharing is caring at the end of the day. And that is all we can do, is care about each other. ELE. Everybody love everybody. But if you are in the comments here, live at facebook.com or youtube.com, get in that chat, guys. Get in there and talk your stuff. Get in there and talk your shit, because NFL season is here. Week 1 is literally 9 days away. 9 days away, ladies and gentlemen, when we buckle on the chin shots are real. Kansas City Chiefs take on the Detroit Lions at Arrowhead Stadium. Kansas City Chiefs start the season off 1-0 and make a push to repeat of the Super Bowl champions. Guys, we do have a great show for you lined up today. It's Fact or Crap Tuesday. We're going to talk about the New York Jets. They say they got Super Bowl aspirations. They're already buying their tickets. Buckle up, Jets fans. What? Slow it down, baby, right? Slow it down. Kyler Murray placed on PUP. Colt McCoy's out. What does that mean? Anthony Richardson says they have a Super Bowl team. What? Jimmy G speaks on Trey Lance. And Jonathan Taylor, given till today to make a trade or shut up and get to practice. We will see all that and much, much more, guys. But I have to remind you tonight, 10 p.m. East Coast time, my man, my right-hand man, the peanut butter to my ladies, jumps on the show here. After hours show Tuesday, 10 p.m. East Coast time, we're going to talk about whatever you guys want. Talk about whatever you guys want tonight at 10 p.m. East Coast time. Of course, Hoffy's going to talk about his New England Patriots because, why not? I'm going to talk about the Chiefs because why not? If you want to talk about your Dolphins, be there. Be there or be square. But guys, we have to start with the show with the lead block. If you haven't done so already, like, comment, and subscribe. Guys, we need you guys to smash that like button just today. Also, if you're watching this on Facebook, just spam that like button. Like. Just do it till your thumb gets wore out. Do it till it bleeds. Because I want to test something. I want to test the algorithm, see if the algorithm still hates us or not. Because we have been demonetized on Facebook because of copyright or something. I don't know. It is what it is. But let's get into the lead block of the day here, guys. And the lead block is going to be short and cut and dry today because there are a lot of transactions happening in the NFL. Because today Tuesday at 4 p.m. East Coast time, all NFL rosters have to be cut down to 53 people, along with 16 practice squad players. So there's going to be a lot of transactions, a lot of moving, a lot of late round trades. Like the Kansas City Chiefs send one of their receivers to the, I believe it was the Miami Dolphins for a seventh round pick. They're like, hey, you give me your 7th round pick, I'll give you my 7th round pick, and we'll give you this receiver as well. There's going to be a lot of that happening today. So guys, just stay tuned. We'll talk about all the big transactions over there at facebook.com/man hour. And of course, we will post all of it tonight and talk about it tonight as well. Also today at 4 p.m. East Coast time, teams have to officially put players on the PUP list or the active list. So what that means is basically kind of like the IR in baseball. So the PUP list, if you are put on the PUP list, like Kyler Murray has been placed on the PUP list, which is the physically unable to perform list, you will miss at least 4 games of the NFL season. So there are people out there like Jonathan Taylor right now are on the PUP list. Do they Does he get activated? Does he get traded? What is going to go on there, right? So there's going to be a lot of news happening, guys. We got a lot of stuff covered tomorrow. We will break down the rosters. And speaking of tomorrow we start our NFL breakdown again. We will start with the AFC East. We'll talk about the Buffalo Bills, New York Jets, Miami Dolphins, and New England Patriots. Spoiler alert, there has been some big changes. A team has dropped from first to third in my overall rankings going into the 2023 NFL season. So stay tuned for tomorrow, bye guys. But today, right now, we got to get into fact or crap. And fact or crap is very, very simple here, guys. Fact or crap. We put out a statement there. We talk about it. We banter about it. We let the people in the chat ask good questions, right? And then we simply answer, is it a fact or it is a crap? For example, fact or crap. It is the most beautiful time outside ever. It is 68 degrees here in Indiana. The slight little breeze, the sun's out. It is beautiful. Birds are chirping. This is an absolute fact. When you go from 108 degrees to 69, woo, baby, light me up, right? It is beautiful outside, guys. So get out there and enjoy it if you are able to do so today. But let's start off fact or crap today, and let's start off with the Indianapolis Colts. A lot of news is surrounding Indianapolis Colts at this particular time. And in an interview yesterday with Colts starting quarterback, that's right, QB1, Anthony Richardson, he says, I want to bring a Super Bowl to Indianapolis Colts. I think we have the team in place. I wish I could. I hope I can. So, guys, fact or crap, the Indianapolis Colts have a Super Bowl caliber team right now in 2023. Right now in 2023, let's look at the Indianapolis Colts, okay? Right now, the Indianapolis Colts do not have a running back that rushed the ball last season. They released Kenyon Drake a couple days ago. Jonathan Taylor is currently on the PUP list, right? They released Rashad Bateman. So when we look at it, we have Deion Jackson and Evan Hall in the backfield. I don't want to talk down on them because during the preseason, they held their own, right? They didn't wow me. They didn't shock me, but they held their own. They held their own. Maybe they can hold their own long enough until Zach Moss can come back from his broken arm. Maybe Alex Pierce can step up. Maybe Michael Pittman Jr. can kind of be that guy, right? Just a couple years ago, guys, right? A couple years ago, when Matt Ryan came to town, actually it was probably the year before that when Carson Wentz came to town here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Arguably, the Colts had one of the best offensive lines out there. They had the best offensive line. They had a great running game. They had a great receiver core. Their defense was top-notch. They were a quarterback away. Carson Wentz wasn't it. Matt Ryan wasn't it. But now, all of a sudden, getting a little bit older. Injuries are starting to pile up. Yes, they do have one of the highest-paid linemen in the entire NFL in Quentin Nelson. As soon as the announcer said that on the preseason game, boom, back-to-back holding calls and a personal foul by Quentin Nelson. Good job, my man. But when we sit back and we look at it, the Colts do have still a pretty good offensive line. If Jonathan Taylor comes back and plays, they do have a nice 1-2 punch with Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss. I don't see it happening. All indications are pointing that he will be traded, but we'll talk about that later. But Anthony Richardson needs to slow his roll. Richardson's, you need to understand that you are a rookie quarterback. You do not want people to put you up on this pedestal. You do not want me to deem you trash like I do Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson's fans put him up on this pedestal. Lamar Jackson promised a Super Bowl to Baltimore Ravens in the first 5 years of his NFL career. One playoff win. Do not be that guy. Be humble. Understand that the Colts are in a complete rebuild mode. Understand that the Colts are probably going to only have 5 wins this season. You do have a pretty good defense. You have a fairly good offense put together. New head coach, new quarterback, running back room is up in shambles, and Michael Pittman Jr. hasn't done shit for you the couple years. I mean, he's done okay, but he hasn't exploded off the map. Slow it down. Guys, the Colts right now are not even a playoff caliber team. Earlier this offseason, I was all aboard the Colts train. I thought, man, they could legitimately win the AFC South. Garner Minshew, quarterback, JT, Michael Pittman, they added Rashad Bateman. Ooh, watch out, baby. And then now all of a sudden, Rashad Bateman gone, Jonathan Taylor's gone, Garner Minshew's a backup. Hell, I think he might even be listed as third string. I think Sam Ellinger outperformed Garner Minshew. But slow it down, baby. Slow it down. As we jump in the chat here, I see chat today. Yesterday, I could not see the chat for whatever reason. I don't know what was going on. But Hoffy out in the man-hour chat here, he says, are the Dolphins clear AFC East favorites with Jonathan Taylor? We can talk about that. Because we are going to be jumping in the East here very, very soon here. But Richardson is still very wet behind the ears. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. I agree with you, Hoffy. I also agree that the Colts have a lot of good pieces in place. They do have a decent offensive lineman, right? Quentin Nelson, obviously one of the highest paid left guards in the game. Ryan Kelly is actually a really underrated center, right? Michael Pittman Jr. has an opportunity to, be a top receiver. Mo Alley Cox, let's not forget about him. And then they just signed number 9 from the Packers. What's his name? Amari Cooper. Or not Amari Cooper. Amari Rodgers. Maybe he can re-erect his career in Indy. I don't know. But the Colts, they have some pieces. They have some parts in place. I'm curious to see what their new coach can do. I'm curious. Colts Super Bowl caliber is the biggest shit ever. Not wrong. Not wrong on this one. But let's bring up this comment right here. Are the Dolphins clear AFC East favorites with Jonathan Taylor at the helm? So let's go ahead and jump forward in the program here today. Let's shoot from the hip. Now, we're not really shooting from the hip. I have this written down as number 5. But when we look at the Miami Dolphins moving forward, they are a very, very, very good team. They are a 12, 13, 14 win possible team, even without Jonathan Taylor. The problem with adding a player like Jonathan Taylor to the Miami Dolphins is, yes, they do want to add running back depth. I believe Mike McDaniel said that you can never have too many running backs in the room. When we look at the depth chart for the Miami Dolphins right now, they have Rasheed Mostert, 31 years old, Jeff Wilson Jr., around 30 years old, and then 2 running backs that I have never heard of, Shavon Admin and Devontae Acne. 2 guys, I don't know. So clearly, those 2 guys would probably be on the lock on the outs if Jonathan Taylor were to come in. However, when we talk about this, right, the Miami Dolphins had an opportunity to bring in Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook signed for the Jets for $8 million, right? No draft picks, no long-term contract. 1 year, $8 million. They did not want to pay Dalvin Cook $8 million. Actually, I believe they offered him like $6 million or something, right? They offered him a very lowball offer, a Zeke Elliott type of offer. So the Miami Dolphins may want Jonathan Taylor. They may want to add depth to the running back room, but they clearly are not willing to pay for it. They are clearly not willing to give up a second, a first, or third round draft pick for Jonathan Taylor. Because not only do you got to give up draft capital, you are going to have to sign this man long term. Otherwise, you are totally wasting everything that you worked for, right? Now, just because you earned the rights to Jonathan Taylor's name, likeness, and usage, right? It doesn't mean that he's going to sign that contract. It doesn't mean that he's going to come there. Hell, he could retire. Like, he could pull us a Andrew Luck. Right? But to say that the Dolphins are clear AFC East favorites with Jonathan Taylor, I would have to go with fact on that because of what we see on the paper. If you put a gun to my head right now and I saw Jonathan Taylor's name with Tyreek Hill, with Jalen Waddle, with Cedric Wilson Jr., Tua, a decent offensive line, right? A decent, not great, not terrible. They're, I guess, subpar, right? 17th, 16th, right? A defense that has Eli Apple on it. Yes, I think they're favorites, but they're not clear-cut favorites, right? They are not that team like, 17-0, 16-1. I mean, I still have them going 11, 12, 13 wins, yes. But clear favorite. AFC East is pretty loaded. So still got the Jets, still got the Patriots, still got the Buffalo Bills. We always forget about the Buffalo Bills. Kevin is in the chat here. He says, Dolphins are very, very overrated. Tua will not play the whole season. So, Kevin, I'm glad you brought that up because of the simple fact that Tua is not the must-all, be-all for the Miami Dolphins. They brought in a quarterback from the New York Football Jets by the name of Mike White for this very reason. They also drafted a quarterback last year by the name of Skylar Thompson. Give that man from the Kansas State University, give him some time, give him some credit. Skylar Thompson can lead you to the playoffs. The Dolphins will be just fine without Tua this year because I think they're planning for that. That's why they brought in Mike White. Mike White, a good spot filler backup quarterback. So when Tua does go down, I'm not wishing ill will, but when he does go down, Mike White is there. Mr. Mike Longneck himself. Hell, I thought Mike White was the best performing quarterback on the Jets roster last year. Over Joe Flacco, over Zach Wilson, right? Mike White was a clear cut. When Mike White would go in there for the New York Jets, you saw a different pep in the Jets' step. Maybe Mike White kind of has that Garner Minshew effect, kind of like that swag effect, right? Kind of like, hey, I'm here. Let's do it. Let's do some work, right? As Hoffy says, Mike White can be a stud when in relief. Yes. How about this? Ryan Fitzpatrick S, right? Every time, Ryan Fitzpatrick was good for 3 games a year. 3 games a year, Ryan Fitzpatrick would come up and light it up. 300, 400-yard games, 4 or 5 touchdowns on top of the freaking moon, right? Next week, $125 passing, 3 interceptions, sacked 8 times. Ryan Fitzpatrick was a definition great backup quarterback. He would come in, he would light that fire for 3 games, and then that fire was out. That's all Mike White needs to do. Come on there, light the fire for 2, 3, 4 games, let it simmer out, and let Tua come back in. Like, I'm glad you brought that up, Kevin, because when we talk about the Miami Dolphins, right, what about them is overrated? Now, I do know that many Miami Dolphins fans, Arthur Brown included, my man just got in a relationship. Beautiful young lady. But he is a realistic fan. I do see a lot of Dolphins fans saying Super Bowl or bust, Super Bowl or bust. Which, when you look at it, they do have a pretty good team on paper. They do have a really good team on paper. So what exactly about the Miami Dolphins is overrated? Is it the fact that they have a top 10 offense in the league? Is it a fact that their defense is probably second best in the East? Is it the fact that they have one of the best young head coaches in the NFL? Like, I understand the hype around the Miami Dolphins. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, right? You had that beautiful 1-2 punch in receiver, right? Yes, the offensive line is subpar. They just paid what's his face? That offensive lineman, I can't even think of his name right now. But 3 years, $38 million, right? They have a good team on paper. Now, will it translate? Who knows? But to say they're very, very overrated, I'm not for sure I'm jumping on board with that. I'm not for sure that I'm jumping on board that they are, quote, overrated. We will see. We'll see. Week 1 is what? 9 days away, guys, so get excited. Buckle up. But speaking of Jonathan Taylor, we do have to jump into the question that I had about Jonathan Taylor, right? So the Colts had given him till today, 4 p.m. East Coast time, to get a trade suitor and a trade done. Otherwise, he will be required to report to camp or be put on the PUP list. So basically what that means, guys, is that the rosters have to be locked today at 4 p.m. East Coast time. The PUP list is locked at 4 p.m. East Coast time, right? So there are people that kind of abuse the PUP list, and I think the Colts are going to be one of them. If a trade doesn't get done with Jonathan Taylor today, they are going to leave Jonathan Taylor on the PUP list, so he'll miss at least 4 games this season while they kind of work it out. But guys, fact or crap, a trade gets done today for Jonathan Taylor. As a wise man once said, you can procrastinate as long as you want, but when the 0 hour strikes, a deal will always get done. I work for a company right now that they are prepared to go on strike in a couple weeks, right? Two sides are very, very far apart. The two sides are not like making any ground whatsoever, but as it gets closer, they compromise. Because if work stops, we lose money. If the Indianapolis Colts do not get a trade done for Jonathan Taylor, work stops for Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor wants to get paid. Jonathan Taylor wants to do this, wants to do that, wants to do that. He's also coming off of an injury that he's allegedly not even healed from yet. His ankle injury, right? So if a trade does get done today, it is going to be obviously shocking news, because I don't think the Colts are willing to budge any way, shape, or form. So with that being said, if a trade does get done, it'll be at 3:59 p.m. East Coast time, and it will definitely be like WTF, mate. So fact or crap, which deal gets done? I'm going to say crap. I do not think a deal does get done as far as a trade deal. As far as bringing Jonathan Taylor onto the active roster, I think something does get done today because of what I said earlier. Yes, the Colts have 2 running backs that could possibly hold their own for a couple weeks while Zach Moss gets healthy. But if the Colts want to win more than 5 games this season, if the Colts want to possibly win the AFC South this season, they need the services of Jonathan Taylor. They need a strong running game. They need to take pressure off of Anthony Richardson. Son. A deal doesn't get done. Doesn't get done. Arthur Brown is jumping in the chat here. He says, all of our pieces are in place. Issues are the old line. We agree, or we have to address that, but we will make some noise. Don't text and drive, Arthur Brown. You know better than that. Hoffy says, fact. They have to move on if they want the new coach to build this chemistry. They need to move on. So this is the positive thing about the Colts this offseason, right? Is Jonathan Taylor hasn't been to one practice. Jonathan Taylor hasn't set foot in pads, in helmet, and learned the new offense yet. So, yes, chemistry is nice, but you are building chemistry. You are building a rapport with Zach Moss, with Hull, and the other guy, right? You are kind of building that rapport. I think the reason why they cut Kenyon Drake was because they expected JT to be back. You do not make a cut like Kenyon Drake if you do not expect your star running back to come back. Now, all indications are that Jonathan Taylor has 2 feet out the door with the door closing behind him, right? Those are all the indications out there. All the indications are that Jonathan Taylor said, kiss my ass, see you in the playoffs, right? But also, we do not see things that are happening behind closed doors. Maybe Jim Irsay has learned from his mistakes. Maybe Jim Irsay is no longer parking his big old 80-foot RV in the middle of the practice field and said, come here, JT, we need to have a talk. Maybe he has learned from his mistakes. Maybe he's sober. Maybe it's just time to move on. But, Hoffy, can you sway my decision by that? Can you say that chemistry is nice, but let's just be honest, running backs are kind of plug and play? Jim Irsay is still drunk and blowing lines in the parking lot. Allegedly, Hoffy. But speaking of Super Bowl teams, we've talked about the Colts Super Bowl chances. We've talked to Miami Dolphins Super Bowl chances. But a team that has been making noise, shaking the cages all off season are the New York Football Jets. The Mean Green, #Takeflight. These guys have signed Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, Aaron Rodgers, Delvin Cook. Who else from the NFC North have they signed? But basically, guys, Delvin Cook says the reason why he is signed with the New York Football Jets over everybody else that he had opportunities for, Miami Dolphins, says that they have a very realistic chance of making the Super Bowl this season. So, guys, fact or crap, the New York Football Jets are indeed Super Bowl favorites in the AFC. When we talk about hype, when we talk about overratedness, the New York Jets might be one of the overhyped, overrated teams in the NFL. I've been saying all offseason that they are still a 7-win team. I've been saying all offseason that they're probably going to miss the playoffs, that they are not any better than last season. But, that's right, there is a but. #waffle around that answer. I have been watching the Jets preseason games. I've been watching their OTAs on the NFL Network. I've been watching their joint practices. That defense is really, really, really good. That defense is fast. That defense is hungry. And that defense is about to make some noise. So with that being said, the Jets have all the pieces in place. The Jets have all the parts in place to make a solid playoff run. But the first 6 weeks for the New York Football Jets season is key. If they can come out in a 500 or winning record for the six games of the season, I will jump on board. I will jump on board that Super Bowl train. because they have a tough opening 6 games here. How is Aaron Rodgers going to react getting smacked in the face? How is Nathaniel Hackett going to react? I'm like, oh my God, we're 0-2 again. How is that offense going to be like, oh, I thought Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be the greatest, yada, yada, yada. If they come out in 500 or above in those first 6 games of the NFL season, the Jets will make the Super Bowl. I will give you that. Hoffy with the breaking news. He says the breaking news. Jonathan Taylor has been traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. Is this true, Hoffy? Because if it's not true, I'm going to kick you straight in the vagina. I am looking on my phone. I see nothing about it, Hoffy. Guys, if this is true, breaking news, Jonathan Taylor traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. If this is true, are the Chiefs now the clear-cut favorite in the AFC? Does Jonathan Taylor really, boast one team or the other? Hoffy, I'm not seeing anything on here. I'm on the NFL page. I'm on Twitter. Come on, man. You better not be pulling my leg. You better not be pulling my leg, Hoffy. Because if this is not true, I'm going to be look like an idiot. And only 2 people make me look like an idiot. And that's myself and my wife. Those are the only 2 people that make me look like idiots, Hoffy. So, guys, let me ask you this question. If this is true, if the statement that I'm seeing on the screen right now, that Jonathan Taylor has been traded to the Kansas City Chiefs, are the Chiefs going 17-0? Do the Kansas City Chiefs go 17-0 with Jonathan Taylor on their roster? Hoffy, I'm where did you see this? Because I'm kind of just flabbergasted right now. I've lost all train of thought. I'm kind of excited. I kind of want to go buy a Jonathan Taylor jersey now. But then I'm like, you know what? The Chiefs really don't need a running back. The Chiefs do not need Jonathan Taylor. Because we do have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We do have Isaiah Pacheco. We do have Jarrett McKinnon. We don't need Jonathan Taylor. Especially since he's going to want $20 million. We still got to pay Chris Jones, damn it. We need us some Chris Jones. Hoffy, this better not be true. I promise you, Hoffy, if this is true, tonight on the After Hours show, I'm going to get stupid drunk. I'm going to be drinking the whiskey, and I am going to drop kick you straight in the throat. I mean, you being 5'5", that's just like me just laying on my side and kicking you in the throat. But damn it, let's move on. Kyler Murray has officially been placed on the PUP list by the Arizona Cardinals. They have also cut Colt McCoy, giving us a QB battle, a QB1 battle between Clayton Tune and Josh Dobbs. We have been talking about Kyler Murray. Is he getting pushed out the door? Is he no longer welcome in Arizona camp? Right? He tore his ACL back in December. Since then, Cliff Kingsbury is out. Jonathan Gannon is in. New offensive look. Drafted a quarterback. Colt McCoy is going to be the guy. So, guys, fact or crap, the reason why they cut Colt McCoy is to make room for Kyler Murray for the Arizona Cardinals. So it has been said that Colt McCoy was either going to be the starter for the Arizona Cardinals or be cut. So there is going to be 2 extremes for Colt McCoy. Either you are our guy moving forward or you're not. Either you're out, you're in, or you're out. You're in or you're out. Clearly, he is out. So with that being said, Jonathan Gannon is giving Kyler Murray an opportunity to come back this season. Jonathan Gannon is giving Kyler Murray the opportunity to come back, October, maybe November, right when KOD or COD comes out, to basically audition for his job moving forward. Because obviously we are not expecting anything from the Arizona Cardinals this season. We are not expecting anything at all. So by cutting Colt McCoy, this is what the Arizona Cardinals did. They said, I want to see what I have in Clayton Tune. He will be our starter come week 1, and he'll probably play until week 4, week 5. If it is a complete dumpster fire, if it is a complete shit show, Kyler Murray, we're going to bring you off the PUP list. We're going to activate you. We're going to get you acclimated. And then here is your job interview. Now, if Clayton Tune is lighting it up, let's say he does pull out a couple wins. Let's say he does a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Let's say he is doing good things in Arizona. Kyler Murray, stay on the PUP list. Kyler Murray, get, extra 115% healthy. Then, next offseason, we have an open quarterback battle. Basically, by cutting Colt McCoy for the Arizona Cardinals, this is what the coach, Jonathan Gannon, has said. He has said that Kyler Murray, your job is on the line. It is time for you to put up or shut up. You are not our guy. I did not draft you. I did not trade for you. I did not bring you in. I did draft a quarterback in the fifth round in Clayton Tune. Curious to see what he has. I did bring in Josh Jobs for a nice little insurance policy. But I know Colt McCoy is better than you are. I know Colt McCoy is better for this team. I know Colt McCoy is better for my offense. But I'm going to clear the way. I'm going to clear the way for you to give you 100% confidence that this is your job interview. It is cut and dry. Clayton Tune versus Kyler Murray. Who is going to come out the victor? What if they both suck? Oh, damn, we got a first overall pick. Caleb Williams, come on down the interstate, I-95 or whatever it is. Couple hour drive from SoCal to Arizona. Welcome home, baby. This is a clear move by the Arizona Cardinals that this is an open quarterback competition for Clayton Tune and Kyler Murray. It is time for both of them to shut up, put up or shut up, or we're going to draft a quarterback by the name of Caleb Williams. That's why the Arizona Cardinals cut Colt McCoy. Hoffy just sent me a text message, and he's laughing at me. Clearly, that was just all fake. Clearly, this breaking news that Hoffy said, Jonathan Taylor traded to the Kansas City Chiefs, clearly all just a laughing matter at the end of the day. Nobody wants to hear this. Nobody, as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, wants to hear this. We have Isaiah Pacheco, baby. We have CEH. We have Jared McKinnon. Don't sleep on that, mofo. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Actually, 10 p.m. tonight. We out.